So this evening I'm going to explore what we mean by tolerance. And I'm going to start in an easy area because sometimes sitting meditation you have aches and pains in this body. I'm getting older now. I just had my 56th birthday a few days ago. But I was very fortunate that before I went to, the day before the birthday, I had an invitation. It's really interesting being a monk because I think the week before I said that I went to a morning tea with the Archbishop of York, and he was the second in command of the worldwide Anglican Church. And just before my birthday I went to an evening with Sir Roger Penrose, who is one of the most famous physicists in the world. He's the fellow who discovered black holes. And while we were there, somebody was mentioning that this universe which we're sitting in right now is about 13,000 million years old. Imagine that number, 13,000 million. So the following day, when I was 56, I realised I wasn't that old. It made me feel quite young. But anyhow, being like going into these different parts of society, sometimes as you do get old, you do get more achy, more pains, more difficulties, more sicknesses. And this is the first part with tolerance. When you do have a pain or sickness in the body, should you really be tolerating it? Obviously, if there's something you can do, you go and see a doctor, you take a Panadol, or you do something to try and ease that ache and pain in the body. But where tolerance can sometimes be applied is where there's nothing you can take, there's nothing you can do physically to get rid of that ache or pain. But one of the teachings which had been drummed into me for my training as a monk, especially in the early years, if there is a sickness or a pain which for one reason or another cannot be cured, or there's no medicine you can take, you don't just endure it and just grit your teeth and say, I'm just going to tolerate this. What I was always taught is to understand it, investigate it, learn from it. So it wasn't just tolerance, say, this is awful, this is terrible, I've got to bear with this, it must be some karma from the past. I used to have very bad hay fever. It must have been because in my previous life I punched an enlightened person on the nose, and that's why I have to suffer from hay fever in this life. That sort of attitude was certainly not wisdom, that was not Buddhism, that was nothing to do with the right attitudes. What I was always told was actually investigate these things which upset you, which irritate you, which give you pain or discomfort. Don't just sit there and tolerate it and wait for it to go, but find out what it's there to teach you.